More opinions. That's right guys, even after a video of 10 whole unpopular opinions, I still have some more that I want to get just off my chest and just put them out there. But I've added a little something to the mix to vary this one from the first part. Today, I will be joined by ISAIAHthePLAYAH, who will be giving 5 of his unpopular opinions, and I'll be giving 5 of mine. So yes, technically the my part of the title applies to both of us. I just wanted to keep the title consistent with the last one, okay? Of course, Isaiah's channel will be linked down below, and at the very end of this video, there will be a link to the collab we made on his channel today. So yeah, make sure to check his channel out. You'll love it if you like the content that I make, because we definitely have similar ideas sometimes. Originally, I was going to talk about 10 rap songs I disliked that grew on me, but Isaiah beat me to that one before I could even record it, and it's pretty cool how you can look at our opinions on certain things and compare them. This is CDTV, here with ISAIAHthePLAYAH, and let's get right into the big,
meaty, beefy opinions.
From the first time I saw you, I actually said to myself, I gotta meet her like a taxi. Exactly, love affair in the backseat.
I know there's gonna be a lot of Eminem stans that are gonna be furious at me for saying this, but don't get mad at me. Get mad that your favorite rapper makes a lot of bad music. To me, he lost his top 5 spot when he dropped Revival, and even on top of Revival, he just has so many bad songs and cringy lyrics and deliveries that I just can't put him in my personal top 5. You got Remind Me and Venom with some of the worst hooks I've ever heard, and countless bad songs like Fag, Rain Man, Puke, Big Weenie, and I could probably make an hour-long video just talking about all the cringy lyrics he has. And even I'll admit, for every bad song from Eminem, there's an amazing one, but part of my ranking for all-time rappers is consistency, and I think that's Eminem's weakest trait.
Stand for something, get wild for something, get high for suffering.
Alright, here comes the part where I have to make it clear that this is not me saying that Vacation in Hell is a bad or poorly made album, because that's not what it is. And maybe I just need to hear a different Flatbush Zombies album to really get into their music. This is the first one I've heard from them. But yeah, this one, for whatever reason, just isn't for me. I feel like it does open up super strong. Hello, Chunky, Vacation, and Headstone are all phenomenal tracks that I replay often. But after Big Shrimp, I just feel like my engagement with the album sharply declines, and I just don't feel interested past that point. I like all 3 members of the group. I feel like they really can rap, and I love all their different unique traits and quirks within their rapping. But something about the overall songs they make on here just doesn't engage me outside of the opening tracks and a couple towards the end. I've only managed to finish the album a couple of times, but I am willing to check out some of their older music, because a big part of me does feel like I just started with the wrong project.
Just that fresh whip, polar checks, receipt, stash straight to the pond dripping. I've been gone too long, feel like it's all different.
With Jaden Smith, I feel like people either love him or they hate him. And the biggest argument I see from Jaden haters is that they think he wouldn't make it if he wasn't Will Smith's son, but I disagree. Just go listen to Sire all the way through, and it's very clear that he's a talented, creative, and versatile artist. He has a good singing voice and he knows how to flow really well. Like, I honestly think he's a lot more talented than most mainstream rappers, but that's just my opinion. Matter of fact, if you haven't heard Blue or 90 from him, I recommend that you pause this video and go listen to those and then come back and see if you still feel the same way about him. His lyrics do get a little pretentious from time to time, but I feel like if he wasn't Will Smith's son, his lyrics would actually be better just because he'd be a more relatable guy and, you know, not a celebrity since birth.
Yeah, take a sip, revive, take a trip to the dark side. Yeah, I be flying high, can't you tell from my red eyes?
Rodeo by Travis Scott is one of my personal favorite rap albums, but every album does have to have a song that you like the least compared to everything else. And for me, that song is Flying High. I didn't think this was too much of an unpopular opinion until I said it in one of my most recent videos, and very quickly I got a bunch of comments disagreeing with me, with many people saying that they felt that Never Catch Me or I Can Tell or Wasted were the worst tracks. But I don't agree. All of those tracks, I feel like they fit the vibe and the tone of Rodeo nicely, whereas Flying High just stands out like a sore thumb. It doesn't have this outer space, otherworldly. Why is it R's and L's? If you watch the collab on Isaiah's video, I can't say Earl Sweatshirt, and I can't say otherworldly here. It doesn't have the outer space or otherworldly feel that every other track on this album does, and it makes it feel very out of place. It's not a horrible song, but I don't care for it at all, and find every other track on the album to be better.
The game is over, my pain is sober. You a lame, a joker. You can't catch me, plus my flow is nasty, and my name is vulgar.
Now, before I criticize Corday, I just want to say that I don't wish him any ill will. You know, I want to see him succeed, but for some reason his core fan base seems to think he's the next great lyrical rapper, you know, the next J. Cole or Kendrick, and I just don't see it. He's definitely more lyrically gifted than a lot of up-and-coming rappers, but I just haven't been impressed by any of his lyrics. It seems to me people think he's some kind of lyrical genius just because he's young and from YBN and doesn't rap about jewelry and money every song. I appreciate Corday for actually having some substance, but I think just having good subject matter doesn't automatically make you a good lyricist in my eyes. It's similar to how just using big words doesn't make you a great lyricist in my eyes either. To be a great lyricist to me, you need to find a happy medium between the two, you know, unique subject matter, wide vocabulary, and also some creative rhyme schemes and references. Corday just isn't there yet, but he has the potential to. Like, let's just look at some lyrics from his most recent song, Have Mercy. You know, I'm gonna use some lines from his second verse as an example. My bitch bad with no ill will, cause she'll murk a nigga like Kill Bill. Loose lips, sink ships, Cameron, pink drip, that is my fashion. I'm not really with the high flashing, it's no help with my bragging. Like, he's clearly not saying nothing on this song, but the lyrics just aren't anything creative or new. Kill Bill has been referenced in like hundreds of songs, and the Cameron pink outfit has definitely been referenced in a lot of rap songs as well. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky, but I just have a really high standard for lyrics when it comes to rap, you know, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't listen to non-lyrical rappers. But I'm gonna cut him some slack because he hasn't even dropped his album yet, so, you know, maybe he'll prove me wrong and I'll be okay with that. Like I said, I don't wish that he fails, you know, if he proves me wrong, I'll be happy for him. If he turns out to be one of the next great lyrical rappers, then more power to him.
Money coming, go. You know that? Love coming, go. Don't shit. Take a seat, baby girl. You've been all on my mind.
The Kendrick and J. Cole collab album is something that has been rumoured for so long, and most fans of both artists would kill for it to happen. But me personally, I'm a huge fan of both, and I wouldn't mind if we never got it. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that I don't really want it. They're both really deep into their own things and their own career paths now that I feel like the last thing on their mind is a collab album. And to be honest, I don't even fully agree with this idea that J. Cole is the perfect fit to make an album with Kendrick and vice versa. Remember, I am a big fan of both, but I feel like J. Cole isn't exactly on the same level as Kendrick in terms of vocal creativity or lyrical ability. I don't actually think he's that much of a suitable fit for a whole collab album with Kendrick. Plus, this thing has been hyped by fans for so many years at this point. Could something with that much expectation of being a classic behind it really satisfy everyone when it drops? I'm not so sure. At the end of the day, I am more than happy with Kendrick and J. Cole doing their own things and never giving us that collab album.
Seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change.
No, I think it's pretty hard to actually measure influence, and many names are brought up in this debate, you know, like Eminem, Tupac, Jay-Z, and, you know, a handful of others, but I think Cudi has a really strong case for most influential rapper ever. Not only did he start the discussion on mental health in hip-hop, but he made it okay to admit that you're struggling mentally and that you're vulnerable, you know? Plus, he had a really unique sound coming up, you know, like, it was so different and unique and creative that even Kanye was influenced by it on 808s and Heartbreak, and he's usually the guy doing the innovating. Plus, there are a lot of rappers that have went on record saying that Cudi is one of their biggest musical influences, you know, guys like A$AP Rocky, Jaden Smith, Kyle, Lil Uzi, Travis Scott, Logic, Lil Yachty, Drake, Isaiah Rashad, Tyler the Creator, the list just goes on. And it's actually kind of crazy to think about because a lot of the guys I just mentioned themselves are very influential people, so that says all it needs to say.
Kids See Ghosts is an album that's grown on me a little bit since I first heard it, but I still don't think it's anything more than a pretty nice album at best. It's actually my least favourite of the 7-track long Kanye produced albums out of the 3 that I heard. For me, it's Daytona, then Ye, then Kids See Ghosts. I feel like there's just certain things on every song that hold them back a little bit from me loving them. Whether it's Kanye's mad shouting to the drums on Feel the Love, which sure is creative, but I think it would be sonically better without it. A lot of tracks Cudi doesn't fully connect with me because his vocals honestly feel a little bit flat to me. The only track that I straight up love on this album is Fourth Dimension, and Reborn is pretty great too. This album got a perfect 10 rating from Anton Fantuan, and many people consider it to be a masterpiece. But for me personally, I just think it's okay. I love Daytona, Yay is pretty good, and Kids See Ghosts is just alright.
The devil dances and eventually answers to the call of autumn, all them falling for the love of balling.
So this argument is going to be 100% subjective just because there's no real factual reasoning as to why a certain album is better than another other than opinions, but I just don't think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is Kanye's best album. But I do understand that music speaks to everybody in a different way, so I'm just gonna break this down into, what kind of makes an album great, If you're talking about production, I think Yeezus has better beats, and honestly, I think it's the most well-produced rap album ever. If you're going into a Kanye album looking for good lyrics and subject matter, then I gotta give the edge to College Dropout and Late Registration. And if you care a lot about the consistency of a Kanye album, with little to no skips, then I gotta give the edge to Graduation, because there's not a single song on that album that I dislike. Again though, these are strictly my opinions, I'm not trying to make you adopt my way of thinking, I'm just trying to make my argument as to why I think what I think. But in case any of you are wondering, my rankings for Kanye albums are Graduation, College Dropout, then My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and the rest I'm still kind of undecided on.
I heard you mumbling, but it's jumbled and mumble jumbo. The era that I'm from will pummel you, that's what it's coming to. What the fuck you gonna do when you run into it? I'm gonna crumble you and I'll take a number 2 and double.
Okay, so I don't really agree with the term mumble rap as a categorization, but I'm gonna be using it throughout this segment because it's much easier than just substituting it with different words or phrases each time. Basically, people dissing it for no reason is getting very old, and when people do it, they're not even doing it in an inventive way anymore. Using autotune to simultaneously imitate and mock these mumble rappers, that hasn't been original for at least 5 years, I'd say at this point. Probably even longer than that. Rapping over a mumble rap or trap style beat while dissing mumble rap, again, that's something that has been done to death, and while I did love Eminem's Kamikaze album, that's what the main tracks on there consisted of, and it's basically something that has been done so much before. But most of the time, people rapping fast over a trap beat or a boom bap beat and dissing mumble rap is something that is becoming more repetitive in my opinion than the mumble rap itself. It just sounds bitter in 90% of cases and is most of the time unprovoked. If a mumble rapper disses you or disses lyrical hip hop, then sure, fire back, you have something to defend there. But there's not really any need if the only reason you're dissing them is because, in your opinion, they make bad music. It's so dull to me now, and if you're not gonna do it creatively, what is the point? Okay, what's the point? Honestly, I think this line from Token sums up perfectly what I'm trying to say.
You know when you shit getting old? When you dissing everything that is new? If you don't fuck with it, shut the fuck up and don't fuck with it. They're more mature than you!
Perfectly said. At some point, you've got to know that dissing mumble rap is basically just shouting at the air. It's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon, and I personally don't think that's something to be mad about. It's just another style of rap with its own traits and common elements, just like lyrical rap has its own tropes and cliches. Don't get me wrong, I mostly love both lyrical rap and what people call mumble rap. It would just be cool if they could accept that both of these styles can coexist within hip hop, and it's good to give people that variety of music that they can listen to depending on how they're feeling. This has been CDTV Productions with ISAIAHthePLAYAH, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you for watching this video, guys, and thank you to ISAIAHthePLAYAH for joining me on this one and giving 5 of his unpopular opinions as well. And if I'm being honest, I don't know, but I'd say Isaiah had opinions that were more unpopular than mine in this video. So like I said, his channel will be linked down below, and at the end screen of this video there will be a link to the collaboration that we also made today on his channel. And that's a video on the best Tyler the Creator songs from each Tyler the Creator album. Definitely check it out. Like I said, if you haven't seen him before, his content is similar to mine. It's very much in the same vein. So that is all I've got to say for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I might make this unpopular opinions thing a little bit of a mini series and maybe occasionally have more guests on to give their unpopular opinions, you know, really make a thing out of it. But yeah, that's all I got to say. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys all in the next one. And this is CDTV Productions, signing out.